Hey folks, it's Laura with Raintree Nursery, and today we are in a gorgeous spot. This is the Port Townsend Ecovillage, and Jim Salter, one of the founding members, right?
Yeah.
Of the community, is here with us today to tell us a little bit about what they do, how they got here, and show us around. This is a lovely spot. How did this come together?
Well, it's been 15 years. We got word I helped co-create a community south of here called Wiseacres, and we had left, and there wasn't enough ecological stuff that I was interested in. We heard about this eco-village that their principles were permaculture, nonviolent communication, and so we let's check this out. So we came to the second meeting, and then commuted up here from Kingston for 2 years with meetings. The property was already here. The owner of the property wanted to turn it into an eco village, and so I was able to, my experience 10 years living in another village, I had lots of experience, good and bad, and so it was, and this was just fit. First thing I did when I got up here was look at the soil, and that soil is
Sandy.
It's sandy, but there was some nice color to it, and
Really?
and we could work with this, so it was good to work with, and so we started coming, and then we ended up buying a lot over here behind me, and that's kind of the short of it.
So now, in this particular format here, you have people that own particular lots.
Yeah, we have small lots. I think they're 1,600 square feet.
The lots.
Yeah, and then housing is limited to 1,200 square feet, and the rest of the 7.5 acres is owned in common, and we have a shop and an art space, and we're right now presently building a community house for group dinners and things like that.
Nice.
So we're all pretty excited about that.
So how long ago did this construction begin?
Probably 14 years. Oh, yeah, probably 13 years ago.
Okay, so what we're seeing here is the product of 13 years of process and maturity and vision and all that good stuff.
Yeah, and we really spent a lot of time on just how we were going to govern ourselves and how we were going to interact with each other, so that we don't have big conflicts happening, and we have ways to mitigate conflicts and how to talk to each other and things like that. So although the focus of it for me was the permaculture end of it, there was a lot of things that I felt and others felt needed to be in place before we started really getting into and we always had a garden here. I was a CSA manager for a couple of years here, and now it's just we have 30 adults, so there's enough people that want food, and so it's pretty extensive gardening going on.
But you touch on an aspect that is so important when I see people come together that want to live in community. What a lot of people don't recognize is that here in the United States, we don't have a lot of training in how to live together anymore. And in fact, we have a lot of training in how to be rugged individuals and go your own way when things aren't working out the way you want them to. So, I mean, you really have captured this need to be able to not only be able to work with the land, but be able to work with other human beings together so that everything can mesh and people can get along well. That is, I mean, there's the eco part, but then there's also the village part, which is the people part.
Yeah, so it's, and that was the nice thing about it for me is, getting that stuff worked out.
Smart.
And so now we've kind of shifted from consensus to a model called sociocracy. It's a little different model, which is less unwieldy when you have 30 adults.
Makes sense.
And then, so yeah, it's we're still in developing and learning how to work with that. But so far it's been pretty good.
Yeah.
So
good stuff.
yeah.
Now
yeah.
I'm looking at all the plants that I'm seeing, and I see houses, of course, and then I also see all kinds of wonderful edible, medicinal, pollinator-friendly plants all around.
Bumblebees are quite happy here.
Yeah, I see currants and I see red currants and black currants. There's pineapple sage. Look at this peach tree.
Yeah.
Oh, I should mention this. Port Townsend is in Western Washington State, but it's in an unusual pocket of Western Washington. Most people think of Western Washington as cool, temperate maritime climate, but Port Townsend is in the rain shadow of the Olympic Mountains. So whereas Seattle, most people think of Western Washington as Seattle, gets about 45 inches of rain a year. Here in Port Townsend, you only get 18 or 19 inches of rain a year. So this is a much drier climate for those of you who are watching from California or Utah. I think you'll really find this episode useful because it talks a little bit more about how to use a dryland climate. Yeah?
Yeah, we do a lot of drip irrigation. We got tons and tons of hoses here and there. You can see it here.
Right.
Drip irrigation.
Lots of mulch.
Yeah, lots of mulch. Quack grasses are a big nemesis.
Of course. I think that's everywhere.
Yeah. And deer.
And I'm wondering, right behind us, I'm seeing some elevated garden boxes.
Yeah. We have one member who's got some arthritis issues.
Oh, yeah.
And so she's got a couple of raised things so she can still participate.
That's great.
She's kind of our primary bookkeeper, which it's way beyond my
gotta have somebody good at
way
that.
beyond
right?
my pay grade.
All right, so show us around.
Okay, well, let's go off this way.
All right. So it looks like we've got a beautiful annual food garden right back here. Where is this in relation to all of the residences?
It's central to all the residences, so it's kind of our zone 1, or zone 1.5. It's not right next to the house, but it's close enough.
And so, you have residences that have their own personal gardens, but then
some do, yeah.
The vast majority of the food production happens in this common space?
Well, there's this common space here, and then we have several other. We have the apple orchard, and we have another garden area for annuals, and we have more perennials in another location, and then further away we just planted a bunch of nut trees this year, so it's kind of spread out over and then we have the big, the commons that we have next to the garden. It's the primary garden area.
Very nice. And I see you've harvested already some artichokes.
Yeah.
Got a nice big row of artichokes.
Well, we were trying to decide because we have this common area, grassy area for dancing and partying and stuff like that. And we were like, well, it's so close to the garden. And so we planted the artichokes as a buffer for loose balls and kids running.
Natural fencing.
Yes, it was natural fencing. It worked out pretty good.
Nice. So. And I see there's peas that look like they're kind of on the decline.
Yep, yeah, the beans are coming in, and our garlic is getting ready to get harvested. And
how do you decide who does what kind of work?
It's pretty much what needs to be done, and whatever makes people excited to do, are happy to do it. I'm kind of in charge of the garlic, and other people, are focused on other things, and so, and then I got a good deal. I make the compost, which is pretty big. With 30 families, there's a lot of compost.
Oh, I bet.
So I work on the compost year round, and that way I don't have to do any weeding.
Very nice. That's right. So you get to pick what you like to do, which is making compost, and let somebody else do something like weeding that they don't mind so much.
Yeah. So
perfect division of labor. These people are smart. All right. What else can we see?
Well, let's go try the orchard.
Yeah? All right. This way?
Yep.
All right. So I'm seeing this tree here, and it looks like there are purple apples, and then there are golden kind of red apples. Is this a 2 different kind of apple tree?
It's 2, yeah. There was 3 on there, but one didn't take, and so we decided we would put in some dwarf trees and graft on different kinds of apples to see if we liked them. And the dwarfs, of course, produce much quicker than if you're doing
if you're grafting onto a semi-dwarf or a standard.
Yeah,
yes.
they take longer, so we could
that makes so much sense.
Get a feel for the apple, and then if we like it, then we'll plant some more.
And so I see this is your new orchard, right?
Yeah, it's parts of our new orchard.
Nice.
And it's been really fun. Every year they get a little bigger, and the production sometimes gets too much, and so
too much of a good thing, right?
Yeah,
That's not a bad thing.
Hey, Dad.
Yeah, oh, hi, honey.
I just dropped the kids off with Terry. And what do you want me to work on today?
Thistles.
Thistles?
Yeah.
Okay. Same as last week?
Yeah.
Hi,
same
I'm
as last
Raven.
week.
Nice to meet you. I'm Laura with Raintree Nursery.
Hi, Laura. It's nice to meet you. This guy's offspring.
The beauty of community, right?
Yeah, I don't know what part of the community you guys are talking about, but he started another community that I grew up in.
Yes.
I didn't grow up here, but
yeah. And so you just come regularly and drop off the kids, and they get to play here, and then you do some work.
Yep, once a week they get to spend time with Grandma Tati, and then I come work with my dad for a little while, and yeah, it's really great. The kids always get so excited. They jump in the car and, Grandma Tati, Grandma Tati!
Yeah, it's like having a playground, except it's also a community, right?
Yeah, it's awesome.
Not just going to some park that got built, but they're in a place that's growing.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah, it's pretty fun.
It's super awesome.
Yeah, well, don't let me get in your way.
Yeah, I'll let you continue on your thing.
Thanks for your work.
Thanks.
Nice to meet you.
Yeah, nice to meet you too.
What a treat to have your kids come. And,
it's pretty nice.
and have everybody be really happy about it.
And she gets it since she grew up in community. She gets, it's just not weird for her. This is just like, this is how you live.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, it's gorgeous.
Yeah, it's nice. Our elderberries are doing really good.
Look at these. These are very happy.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm
so
really excited
nice.
about that.
All right. I'm going to keep walking. You're going to show us some other things?
Yeah.
Yes? Oh my goodness. I cannot believe they have a mature Medlar here. Look at this beauty. This is amazing. I've never actually seen a fully grown Medlar, and I have like 6 of them, but they're babies.
Yeah.
This is fantastic.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, it produces a lot of fruit.
Look at all the fruits. Look at all their fruit. This is so productive.
Yeah.
Oh man. And for those of you who don't know what a Medlar is, it's kind of like an ancient apple, and you actually have to ferment the fruit after the first frost is when it even starts getting ripe. And so then it eventually softens and it turns into this amazing cross between like a fig and spiced applesauce. It's a fantastic ancient fruit. It's really rare to find it. We sell probably 7 different varieties of Medlar, and we sell out every year. It's getting popular again, but wow, this is a beauty.
Yeah, it's fun. It's everybody kind of marvels at it when they see it. It's like, oh, what's this?
Yeah,
this
right?
is weird. What is it? And
it does have a kind of an ungainly growth habit, but it just, wow, the productivity, and it's super happy. I mean, look at all of this growth. That's 1 year's worth of growth right there.
Yeah.
That is crazy happy tree right here. Oh my gosh. It must like your soil.
Well, that's one of the things that we're really working on a lot because it was a sandy loam. Is really improving the soil quality. We use lots of different methods, but one of the things we've been starting to work with the last couple of years is the no-till method for the annuals. Here we use a lot of wood mulch and bark, and we plant. We inoculate it with mushroom spore, and so we're getting all these. I mean, I'm still harvesting mushrooms right even now,
Wow, it's the middle of July,
in the
and you're still
garden.
harvesting mushrooms.
Yeah, yeah. The what are they called? Wine caps, I think they're called.
Yes, right.
And
The King Stropharia.
yeah, and they're fabulous mushrooms, and of course they're down under there doing their thing,
Right,
which
right.
making the
Moving the
trees
moisture
yeah.
back and forth laterally through
Yeah.
the soil. Yes, absolutely.
So the no-till thing in our perennial gardens is actually, it's kind of a misnomer. There's no tilling at all, but we don't use it rototiller. We do it, like brassicas will cut the stumps down and leave the roots in the ground because the roots will eventually decay and add more nutrients and fiber to the soil.
And as they rot, they leave those tunnels that air and moisture can get in, and then once they rot, there's full of organic matter, and it's like building the soil from the bottom up instead of from the top down, right?
Exactly. Yeah. So we do a little bit of both. So we have a pretty big size compost pile that actually, I mean, it looks like a worm bin. Although it's huge, but as soon as I dig up, it's just like hundreds and hundreds of worms that are crawling around.
Oh, I bet.
And so it's, and they get spread around over the property, and there's more to come every year. There's more and more of the earthworms.
You know, because healthy soil makes healthy plants.
Yeah, yeah.
And I talk to
me,
people every day about that.
And look at me, I'm 85 years old.
Are you really? Well, however old you are, you look very healthy.
Yeah, I feel pretty good.
And who wouldn't, living in a lovely spot like this?
It's just nice. It's especially we have vegetables throughout the whole winter, and so we have a co-op that's close by, but it's we don't buy that many vegetables from the co-op. It's just right here, and now with the things going on in California, it's even more poignant to get as much food security as you can.
Absolutely.
Here, even if you have a little backyard. It's
Absolutely.
Like, get rid of the lawn and grow some food.
Why not? It's right there. It's easy to harvest. There's no transportation involved. You can pick it at the peak of ripeness. It's all nutritionally dense.
Yeah.
You've grown it for flavor and not for shipping quality and holding quality. I mean, right?
Yeah.
There is no downside.
Yeah, my first garden was in 1970, and I didn't even know how to garden. I'd never done it before, but it was probably one of my best gardens. Nice. It was just, I went to it, and had a great crop. It was a small, tiny little garden, but it was, and I've been gardening ever since.
And once you catch the bug, right?
Yeah. So.
Hard to stop. All right, show us something else.
Okay.
Thank you. So one of the things that I love about this space, I mean, besides all the plants, is all the different kinds of architecture I'm seeing. I see so many different sizes of houses and styles of houses. Tell me about how you decided on the diversity of what we're seeing here, and how that was to put them all together.
Well, part of it is everybody has their own aesthetic, and one person says, I want it beautiful, but their beautiful is different than what my beautiful is. And so we combined all these beautiful things and turned out to be this incredible little community we have. So we ended up with small lots, and there was 13 houses, 13 lots beyond the buildings that were here. There was a duplex here, a cabin in the woods. And so the first building we built was a 30 by 60 art center. So downstairs a wood shop and place for repairing cars or equipment, and then upstairs is an art space with some storage, because our homes are so small, or they're only 1,200 square feet.
Maximum.
Right. It doesn't matter what size family you have. And so, and the nice thing about this too is a lot of people, originally we wanted to have even smaller homes with a central bathroom and kitchen and things like that, and the city wouldn't allow that. So a lot of people built an upstairs called a satellite. Well, what's it called? It has a kind of a semi-kitchen. It doesn't have an oven, but it has a stove and sink and bathroom, and so So a lot of folks have opted out to have an option that they could rent it out or have guests there, and so some of the people here are renters but are semi-permanent, and they live in the upstairs apartments.
Nice. So there's even more density.
Yeah, and then a few years ago we were just realizing the terrible housing crisis that is happening, and it's happening everywhere, and not just in Fort Townsend. But so we decided to take 2 of the lots off the market, and we built a duplex on one of them, and then we have another lot that's we divided into 3 for 3 tiny houses.
Oh, yes.
And so that was kind of our contribution to trying to make affordable housing available. We can't do it all, but it helps some.
Absolutely.
And then we have another house on the property that was here, and then we rent that out as well. And if you're low income, you get a reduced rate rent. And then we're in the throes of building a common house, and that's all volunteer labor, a lot of it. So it's taken its time, but it'll
slow and steady wins the race.
It'll
right?
happen. Yeah. So
that's lovely.
we're pretty excited about that.
Yeah. All right. Let's go take a look at some of the other things.
Okay.
Well, I recognize what this is. This is compost. This is a lot of compost.
Yep.
It looks great. Oh my goodness. And what is this? What did you make this out of?
This is just some recycled metal I found in the blackberries over there, and thought it'd make a good wall for a compost. We were kind of wanting to make a better compost thing, and this seemed to fit the bill. So
yeah, it beats the heck out of old pallets, right?
And then these are old pressure treated 4x6s that we painted, so they would not. It would eliminate any kind of poisons in the soil. And they were all recycled from some other project, and so it worked out pretty good.
Nice.
So as you can see here, it's
is that a thermometer?
Yeah, it's a thermometer, so I just stab it in there, and it looks like it's about 80 degrees, a little less than 80.
And it's about 70 out here today, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But the outside temperature doesn't affect the interior too much.
And that's nice. That's got great texture. It's really fine. I mean,
so we have a lot of biochar in it, and
lovely.
Kelp. My wife and I go to swim in the Salish Sea, and so when there's kelp,
look at that! Wow, that is beautiful.
We put kelp in the soil, and then we make our own biochar.
And that's fantastic. That biochar, when it's sitting in compost, it gathers all the nutrients.
Yep. So this is probably pretty close. It's done. About the same temperature as the finish. So as we go further this direction.
Yeah, I can see it's getting chunkier the farther this way we go.
This is going up to about 90 degrees now. And then we go a little bit further, and it depends on where you're putting it in. This is going up, it's
almost 200.
It's about 95 right here. And that's 110. Now that's really cooking. That's still pretty fresh. And that's that's up close to 120.
Wow, neat.
We'll get back into this one, so we might get a little bit of heat out of that. That's 120. There's 130 right there.
Cooking is right.
Yeah, we don't want it to get too much past 130. Then it starts burning everything inside. That's 110 there.
Wow.
So the fresher stuff, so we mix horse manure with it, horse manure, biochar, kelp off the beach, and we have 30 families, so there's a lot of vegetable scraps.
Right. Yeah. Oh, fantastic.
And here I'll turn over the compost, the finished stuff, and we can see what it what kind of worm activity we have.
Oh yes, they find all the good stuff, don't they? They come to you, those beautiful worms. Worms till my garden. I love it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, there they are.
So yeah, you can kind of get a close view there, all the worms that are in there.
Wow.
So they're just happy. They like being out of the sun.
They know the good stuff when they see it. Nicely done.
So that's yeah. Well, it's an ongoing project, but it certainly helps with our building our soil.
Yeah. And you get good exercise too.
Yeah, I do. For an 80-year-old, huh? Yeah. So that's kind of my fun project. Here at the Ecovillage, that and planting trees.
That's my idea of a good time for sure.
Yeah, yeah. People ask me if I'm retired, and I go, yeah, about twice a day.
I'm going to steal that when I retire.
Yeah, you go right ahead.
Oh, it's been such a treat. Thank you so much for welcoming us here. You have such a beautiful spot.
There's a...
Is that a serviceberry?
That's a serviceberry, yeah.
Oh my goodness. That poor thing is huge. I mean, not poor. It's fantastic.
Yeah, we have a bunch of them here that are just growing wild.
Oh my goodness.
Look at that.
Wow. Now that is a Northwest native serviceberry, shadberry, shadbush, shadblow. It has more common names than any other plant I've ever come across. The ones that we grow down in our neighborhood, oh, I don't know, I'm lucky if I get 10 feet out of it. You know, I'm lucky if I get 10 feet. And look at that one, probably 22.
Well, I don't know how old they are. I mean, they've survived the deer eating on them, and you know, we have a lot of deer around here.
Oh, wow, that's amazing.
So it's yeah, there, and the whole street is lined with them.
That's gorgeous.
Yeah,
thank you so much. I was going to say thank you, and then I got distracted.
Yeah, get on the pile and eat some berries.
Wow, what a treat. I really appreciate you taking the time to,
it was fun.
to give us a tour, show us how everything works here. It's a real treat.
Yeah, well, Raintree's been a popular place for me to go to, and especially the winter catalog. I switched out from the Sears toy catalog to Raintree.
And now we have the online with even more information, right?
Yeah, it's pretty good.
It is good. Thank you so much, folks, for joining us. It's Laura with Raintree Nursery, and we'll see you next time.